Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where I was taking a bit of a look at what we've got going on here. We've had a hard time pushing into these two areas, but it looks to me like we can pinch this off right now, theoretically anyway, depending on how they end up moving. We can come in here, and that'll get this encircled, in theory, right? I mean, I'm still not hugely focused on this front. This breakthrough out over here is still problematic for us, to be sure. But for the time being, I'm not that concerned about it. I want this army to push up this direction and hopefully deal with that. Now, up over this way, you'll notice things are slightly different here. There were some awkward bits where Army Group 5 had a second front line order here. I've removed that and moved them into this, and I've redone the... or not really redone, I've just made sure that there's no overlap between our two Army Group orders. So that seems absolutely fine. As far as this out over here goes, we're mostly just waiting on supplies coming in, and that's going to be a little while. So that's absolutely understood. Down in the South American front, what's going on here? Why have we been stalled? Well, supplies definitely have a little bit to do with it. So I wouldn't mind taking a rail line and building a rail line up to here, but then also connecting this into our North American supply network. So I want to make sure there's at least one connection up over this direction at level 5. So we just need to track this up. This is all level 5, this is all level 5, and then that's going into our main North American network. Okay, so that seems relatively fine. Let's get that going, but I'm also thinking about building a supply hub right about here, and then maybe one here as well. And this would then need to be upgraded to level 5 and extended down to there, about like this. That should help our supplies in this area, and we're going to need that because eventually we're going to bring more troops down here. But for now, that looks reasonably fine. Now, we've been making progress out over here. Get in here, stack wipe these guys. Is there anyone assigned to this? There we go. Get in here, stack wipe these. I would love to see these get stack wiped. I'm not 100% certain we're going to, but I think we can. That's definitely the theory. Oh yeah, this is doable. So let's get those pockets eliminated. Oh, look at this. We're actually winning out in Muscat. That is a big deal. Is that going to continue? 4 more days? 3? 2? They're stack wiping. It was the extra forces. Fantastic. Okay, the number of days remaining is going up, but that's understood. So out over this direction, we can see that they have attempted to cut this off a little bit. We have some supply issues, specifically down over here. And that's noted. Let's build a supply hub here. And I'm also thinking building one around here makes sense. And maybe here, as long as we're at it. There we go. We'll get that going. That seems okay. So, down over here, Muscat is really, really close to falling. Honestly, commit to this. Get everybody in here. We're at 98. Still holding at 98. Now we're at 99. That's a stack wipe. We're so close here. They apparently have 2 divisions. We can see that. But they're heavily fortified here. Now they're down to 1 division. And this should be over. In theory. Any moment now. How long will that 1 division last? A while, it seems. Okay, so I want to check up over here and see what we've got going on. This is pocketed. Get in there. And then this is also pocketed over here. Get in here. But this does have supplies, so that is absolutely noted. Otherwise, this front line looks reasonably good. Now, this out over here is becoming increasingly obnoxious. No doubt about that. Once these guys are freed up, we can send them to go deal with this. There we go. These units are freed. I'm going to make them into a new army group out over here. Just the two armies here. And I'm going to tell them, come on out over here and frontline this, with the goal being offensive line down to here. It's going to take them some time to get there, but we'll get them on the way. Oman capitulated, which we're not surprised about. This is all freed up over here, and we're pushing up Arabia. So that looks good. Now, out over here, if we could pinch here, that'd be phenomenal. I'm actually going to tell these guys, move into Basra. We've got a full 30 divisions here, but that's undefended. So if we move into Basra and then head out over this way, like this, we might be able to link this up. Because they don't have many forces here.
Hey, come on.
We have this unit already heading in here. So these guys really only need to head here, then here. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And then this becomes a pocket. Beautiful. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to grab this army group, back it off a little bit, because we want this front line to only go back to here for right now. And then we need to change its attack order. Its attack order is currently like this. I want to have this front be focused on Africa. So we want to get a front line going that is essentially out over here, like this. So we'll go ahead and have them attack that. That'll take a little bit. Autosave is occurring. There we go. And now we can maybe think, just thinking about how we want to handle this pocket for right now. I think we just want to leave it for the moment. We'll come back to that soon enough. Now, as far as this over here goes, yeah, that's going to continue to be a bit of an issue. This has been stack wiped. So that's excellent. Get in here. They have quite a number of forces there, so we need to get troops over here. Okay, let's see what we've got going on other fronts here. This is potentially vaguely awkward, but I'm not terribly concerned about it. This is broken off into two fronts over here, which means that this is technically kind of a pocket out over here. Okay, that's noted for now. I'm not going to be too concerned about it for the moment. We'll get there. Down here, status quo. Sounds good. Down here, status quo. And up here, status quo. So we're waiting on a bunch of these constructions finishing up, right? That is a big portion of what we've got going on. So that seems relatively fine for now. And I do want to definitely see who else making their way up over here. Interesting. Okay. So that's noted. This is a bit messy up here for sure. Okay. This pocket, again, I'm not terribly concerned about breaking it just yet. They do have a naval base here and here, and they have a victory point here and here, so they are able to get supplies in. But that's fine for right now. Now, these guys over here, this is part of Army Group 4, part of our African theater. I wouldn't mind using them. I would normally not want them to be here, but I wouldn't mind using them to offensive line specifically down here, kind of like this. I don't really want them to come that way, though. Hang on, what was that? There was a moment. Nope, not like that. I want them to come from the south up to the north. See, this is definitely wrong. Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to have our offensive line be more like this. There we go. That'll do the trick. So we'll have them move in over here, and we'll take some territory back here, hopefully denying them access to supplies. That's the dream at this juncture. So this is going to remain messy over here until we get this divided off, and that's understood. So as far as this up here goes, how long is it going to take our forces to get there? These guys are part of the messy theater. I'm going to move them over to the European theater, though. And where are they right now? Okay. It's going to take them some time to get up there. That's understood. So as far as these units go, we want them to offensive line straight down and just clean up this pocket. Something like that. So we'll tell them to do exactly that. Was that only this army group? Hang on. Or rather, only that army. I wanted it to be the army group. So we'll have that be something kind of like this. Sure, it's mildly messy, but we'll call that good. We have forces on the way up over there. It's going to take a little time. Okay. So this pocket is continuing here. And they are out of resources. They will eventually run out of things like ammunition. As far as this goes, we're struggling to push into this, but we'll get there soon enough. They're reinforcing from back here, and this is pretty bad for us, but we'll have forces up there quite soon. We've widened this gap significantly. The Great Iranian Empire just capitulated. Okay, so that was mostly this area out over here. I want to grab these guys and have them... Really? That's the division that you assigned here? Okay, get in here. We're gonna have these guys get in here. And then these guys are gonna need to get in here. The Great Iranian Empire capitulating means that they currently have no supply flow anywhere but here. And we're currently winning that attack. So that looks good. And I want to grab everyone assigned to this and just tell them, get in here. Excellent. So that looks good for the moment. We've got our forces coming up over here. They'll be arriving there fairly shortly in order to stop this push. Now, this is very dangerous for us. We don't really want that to be the case. We'll see. So we are definitely interested in taking over Leningrad here. But for now, I want you to get in here. There we go. And you guys, come take Helsinki if you can. Apparently they can't. Wait, no, they're doing it. Okay, beautiful. So there's this pocket right here, and we definitely do want to get that eliminated. We'll get there soon enough. And this whole area here is one pocket, so that all looks good. We'll have that under control fairly soon. We are beginning to arrive on this push, and they're going to have a hard time reinforcing this. We're almost into the Kerch Strait. Almost. Very close now. There we go. But this is about to get harder for us over here. Because we're going to take this, but we need to cross over onto Crimea. So that's going to be a whole thing. But we've got our forces arriving out over here. They will be able to hold this line and begin pushing back against the forces that they've got here. So that seems relatively fine. Now, out over here, this is going quite well for us. What happened to the attack order that we issued our African theater here? I feel pretty confident that we put an attack order in. I actually want it to be on the other side of the Suez Canal, if we can help it. So right about there. I feel confident that we had that, but okay. This is a mess right over here. That's understood. And we're still working on cleaning up these areas out over here. Everybody here, just get on in. Everybody here, attack. There we go. We want to get these pockets cleaned as soon as possible. This is a different location. Okay, noted. We're going to have this taken over very shortly. That's going to be where their supplies are. So we'll get in there. That's going to be absolutely fine. We're definitely substantially pushing them back on a lot of fronts at this point. Now, up over here, have we completed our supplies? We have, and that's why we're seeing successful pushes over here now. Beautiful. So we'll continue to work on that. They aren't going to be able to resist this for very long. Down over here, what's the status of our supplies? We're still working on it. Okay. And of course, there is this situation out over here. We are beginning to get into position out over here to defend these areas. So we're going to start taking some of this, and that's fine. They're being knocked back on the Kerch side, but this is not going to go well for us for a while. Crossing this is going to be difficult. The Emirate of Transjordan just capitulated. Okay. So that sounds good. And the Communist States of America are, of course, going to be a while before they capitulate. They've got all of Turkey. They've got all of... Do they have this? This is the French Commune right now. Okay, well, it's definitely going to be a bit. So we're just going to continue to press in over here. We've got 2 divisions assigned to this right now, and they need to just make their way up here. Okay, so this is, of course, problematic, but we're coming at it from multiple directions here. Supplies are an issue out over here. The Republic of Syria capitulated. Okay. Eventually, the autosave will finish. There we go. We don't have a rail connection here. That's a problem. Okay. We definitely want to build one up out over this direction, like that. Okay. So we've got this naval base here. No supply from capital. We'll get there. And then we've got this here. That'll get us some supply out in this area. Otherwise, it's a little bit dire, the supply situation, but that's fine. For the moment, I'm not that concerned about it. So, out over this direction, we would love to see these guys get eliminated. Stack wipe them. Excellent. So those encirclements are going very, very, very well. Ah, we have forgotten about our attack order up over here. This is supposed to be a front line right here. It's a teeny tiny little front line, and we're supposed to offensive line straight down like this. Get in there. They don't have very much going on over here now. So that looks good. And down over this direction, our supply situation will be improving soon, and we'll be bringing another army group down there very, very soon. I was thinking about moving that army group out over here, but I actually no longer believe that it's necessary. So that seems absolutely fine. We still have forces on the move out over this way, of course, and they will arrive here eventually. We just need to get these guys up over here. Get in here. We need to stack wipe this unit and then get these guys to the front. That is the goal here. If they pinch us out over here, significant problems ensue. We definitely don't want that to happen. So we do need to get forces on this front. These guys aren't attacking due to lack of supplies. Right. Can we wipe this, please? Thank you. Just get in there, and then hopefully we can have forces up over here eventually. So this army group is quite small, no doubt about that. We don't have any trained units as of right now, and that's understood. There's some significant messes up over here. I believe that this is due to capitulations. Things are definitely very messy. So this is Army Group 4. Army Group 4 should not be involved in this front. So I'm going to remove the Army Group 4 operation here. This is Army Group 1. That's fine. This is Army Group 4. This is Army Group 1. Okay, for the time being, we'll just leave it like this. So then Army Group 4 is going to need to be fully assigned over to this order. Okay. We might give up a little territory here while we shift around, but that's understood. So, for now, we do have some forces coming in out over here. But we need a lot more heading over to these areas, right? And we just generally need to be pushing them back over here. These guys are on their way over to man this front line. I'm not convinced we have enough forces here to man this. So there's that. I'm thinking about moving the overflow theater at this point, and I think that's actually a good idea. So I'm going to take these guys, I'm going to split them out into a new army. I'm going to take these guys. There's only the one tank here. Okay. I'm going to split these out into a new army, and we're going to put that here. And then the rest of these, I'm going to put here as well. All of these are going to come up over here at this point. And we'll just delete the previous order that existed here. Okay, so as we see, the army groups, it's definitely a bit of a mess out over here. I do want to delete this order. It should not exist, nor should this order, nor should these orders. Okay, so we see that this, as part of Army Group 1, needs to be reassigned out over here. There we go. So our forces are in heavy motion at this point, and this is the Army Group 1 offensive, so we want to just go ahead and delete that. And we don't have any forces assigned here right now. So let's just head on in and eliminate this. Now, these guys out over here, they can't attack here. That's noted. I want you guys to actually be assigned right here. So you're just going to stay here. And yes, I did steal them from our other army. That's fine. So they're just assigned here for right now, and they're going to attack in over this way. For the time being, that looks okay. So we need to get these units stack wiped. Another 3 days on this attack, apparently. Okay. So that seems fine. As far as all this goes, this isn't a big deal right now, but we do need to get more forces up over here. They're on their way. So that seems good. We can definitely ease up this front line a little bit by taking those. Those are undefended right now. So that seems good. And then head on in over here. Get this stack wiped. And then they can be redirected out to their front. So that all looks good. We definitely do need to do some reinforcement eventually. Hey look, Chile declared war. So that's all looking fine for now. I want to continue to attack out over here. And we're currently losing that battle, but it was actually kind of close. So we're going to get this all stack wiped. That will be done shortly. Now, this is bad. We're definitely not happy that they've connected this up. That means that this is now one giant pocket. We do have some supply here, but we got to do something about this. First thing I'm going to do, we're going to put in a naval base there. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to hope that a corridor opens up over here. Or perhaps that the corridor opens this way. We can head out like that, but we just don't have enough forces over here. They're in progress, they're moving, but it's going to take them time. Okay, we're still working on this out over here, and this down here will eventually happen. We just need to resupply our Marines. The game is frozen right now. That's because of the Chile war. Yep. Fully expected. Okay, let's see what's going on up in Canada. Okay. They seem to be mildly confused. I'm going to send one force up over here to grab this, and the rest of these, I want to grab our army group. I'm going to delete this order. Their order is now to do this. Get in here. I'm assuming that unit that we ordered to move up over here is still doing that. Just get up here. Okay, so that'll be fine for now. Now, as far as this goes, this is of course quite bad for us. We do have forces on the way, but we really do need to do something about this situation here. This is very bad. So what do we want to do about it? Well, it took our forces longer than I expected to get up here, and we're doing poorer than I expected in terms of actually pushing in over here. That said, we're still only making our way to the front. We've got a long ways to go there. These guys still need to be attacked. We'll see about getting them stack wiped. And then down over here, how is this going? Well, we're still working on. Okay. Eventually these forces will be redirected, but and they're needed in other fronts, to be sure. But for now, this is going quasi-okay. We're going to attack here. We do expect that we're able to take this very soon. Create faction from Chile. Okay, we're going to pass on that. Everybody here, get in here. We got to get this stack wiped. We need to get these forces redeployed elsewhere. Okay, so Army Group 4 is our African group. We need to remove this and make sure that these guys are all assigned to this front here. And their goal is going to be, this is going to split into two sides here, but their goal is going to be to offensive line, for now, simply to right here. And that's going to split into two fronts. Now, this unit here, they need to have their front line stretch, if we can select it. There we go. All the way down to here, like that. And then I'm going to give them an offensive line, and this is also going to break into two fronts eventually. It's going to be something kind of like that. So we'll tell them to go ahead and push on that front. Now then, this situation. It is quite bad over here. This is a bad situation. I'd like to attack in over here and see if we can push out over here, re-link up over this direction. We do have an unopposed front over here for a significant amount of distance. That said, we also are not opposing them over here in any meaningful way. So there is that. I'm going to change this army group over to aggressively attacking. Anywhere they are, I want them to attack. We need to be very, very aggressive out over on this side. So we're going to push in over here. And eventually we'll manage to make our way in here, I hope. They keep moving more forces in. Eventually. This is still pocketed up over here, and let's... why did we immediately stop attacking? I ordered you to attack. Let's see about attacking out over here. Okay. This is part of this army group, and they are set to aggressively attack, so they're going to keep doing that for now. This breakthrough over here is, of course, very, very, very bad for us, and we're looking for an opportunity to do something about it. If we take this position, and we take this position, then we're relinked. Okay, stop it. They have forces here right now. They didn't for a little bit there. They keep reinforcing here. And they have forces moving very regularly through this area. However, they just left. Let's see if we can grab them. If we take this and this, then we're in.
Come on.
Assist this attack. Assist this attack. We gotta whittle them down. That's the idea here. So we're continuing to push in over this way. Can we just go take Rostov, pocket this entire area? They have huge forces in Krasnodar, but we can just move in like this. Can't we? It feels like we can. Okay, so they've moved there, but we can move like this instead. They don't have a lot of forces up over here. So that is absolutely noted. So we're in this position now. And we need to take here. What's our supply situation out over this way? Okay, we absolutely need to motorize over here, but that's still not going to get us supplies all the way out here. So that is noted. Supplies are still dire out this way. We do have Kherson, and we have a few victory points here. So that's noted. We're going to get kicked back here, though, and that is really very bad. We don't want that to happen. So reinforce that, and we just want to get this linked up over here is the dream. But our forces are moving around over here, and we're not really in a position to attack yet. We're waiting for a good opportunity here. Don't attack here. Forget that. I'd rather you guys attack here. Okay. That didn't go very well, but we're not necessarily surprised about that. So, how's the rest of this going at this point? They have moved a significant number of their forces here, but we can do this. And we're going to do that. This is technically pocketed on our side. Okay.
Come on.
We need to get forces in here. We're doing a lot of just wandering around and not sitting on front lines. Not ideal. Attack here, clean up that pocket. That'd be great. But it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we will see what's going on with this. I'm not sure how this happened, but we'll deal with that. And this is definitely a bit of an issue up over here. I say a bit. It's quite an issue. We do have this naval base in Kherson, so we now have some supply flow here. There's also Mykolaiv that we've apparently taken. So I would definitely like to have these guys attack here. But that's something for next episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And a very special thank you, just get in here. A very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time.